April 13, 2022. Nightfall over the Black Sea. Ukrainian coastal defense battery receives targeting data. Russian cruiser Moskva positioned 120 kilometers south of Odessa, flagship of the Black Sea Fleet. 20,500 tons of Soviet naval power. The cruiser is hunting Ukrainian positions along the coast, radar sweeping, missiles ready. Moskva has dominated these waters for weeks. Tonight that changes. Ukrainian Neptune anti-ship missile battery moves into firing position. Launchers elevated, target coordinates locked. Weather conditions favorable, low clouds, rough seas. Radar detection more difficult. Fire command authorized. First missile launches at 01:30 local time. Solid rocket motor ignites. Neptune climbs, then levels at wave-top altitude. Sea skimming flight profile. Harder to detect, harder to intercept. Second missile launches 45 seconds later. Both missiles track toward Moskva using active radar homing. Flight time, approximately 8 minutes. Welcome to Sea Doctrine, where Ukrainian engineering delivered the weapon that changed naval warfare. Neptune missile is Ukrainian design, developed from Soviet Kh-35 technology but extensively modified. Range extended to 280 kilometers, guidance improved, warhead enlarged to 150 kilograms. First successful test firing 2016, full operational capability 2021. The system entered service just months before the war. Perfect timing. The weapon Ukraine needed exactly when needed. Moskva never sees it coming. The cruiser's radar systems are focused on air threats from Ukrainian coast. S-300F air defense missiles ready to engage aircraft. But sea skimming missiles approaching at 10 meters altitude are a different threat. Detection range is reduced, warning time is minimal. By the time Moskva's systems detect incoming missiles, there are only seconds to respond. Close-in weapon systems engage, AK-630 Gatling guns fire. But the sea state is rough, targeting is difficult. First Neptune missile penetrates defenses, impact on port side amidships. Warhead detonates inside hull. Massive explosion rips through cruiser's interior spaces. Fire spreads instantly. Fuel and ammunition stores ignite. Secondary explosions. Second Neptune missile hits approximately 15 seconds later. Starboard side-aft section. Another devastating explosion. Moskva's damage control fails. Too much damage. Too many fires. Systems offline. Communications lost. Power failing. Crew abandoned ship. Lifeboats launched. Emergency evacuation. Russian rescue vessels respond, but seas are heavy. Moskva lists heavily. Water floods through breach. The cruiser is dying. By dawn, April 14th, Moskva sinks. Flagship of Black Sea Fleet gone. Approximately 40 crew members lost. The largest warship sunk in combat since World War II. 1 Ukrainian missile battery, 2 missiles, $750 million warship destroyed. This is asymmetric warfare achieving strategic victory. 1 missile, 1 ship. Would you sail a cruiser within 280 kilometers of Ukraine's coast? The tactical success is remarkable, but the strategic impact is revolutionary. Moskva was centerpiece of Russian Black Sea naval power, guided missile cruiser, long-range air defense, command and control platform. Its presence allowed Russian fleet to operate confidently near Ukrainian waters. With Moskva gone, the entire calculus changes. Russian Navy immediately repositions all major surface combatants beyond 300 kilometers from Ukrainian coast. Outside Neptune missile range, frigates withdraw, corvettes pull back, landing ships stay in Crimean waters. The naval blockade of Odessa becomes unsustainable. Ukraine did not need a navy to achieve sea control, just missiles. Black Sea Doctrine has been tracking Neptune development since the program began. Ukrainian designers face challenge, create effective anti-ship missile using limited budget and available technology. Soviet-era Kh-35 provided starting point, small turbojet engine, active radar seeker, sea skimming capability. But range was only 130 kilometers, insufficient for modern naval warfare. Ukrainian engineers rebuilt the missile, new fuel system, improved aerodynamics, better guidance algorithms, testing conducted in secret. Russia was aware of Neptune development but underestimated its capability. Intelligence reports dismissed the system as marginal threat. Moskva paid for that miscalculation. The sinking sends shockwaves through Russian Naval Command. If Moskva could be destroyed, then no Russian ship is safe. Cruiser had modern air defense systems, electronic warfare capabilities, experienced crew, still failed to stop two subsonic missiles. The vulnerability is systemic. Traditional naval defenses are inadequate against modern sea-skimming anti-ship missiles, especially in contested waters where the defender must worry about multiple simultaneous threats. Aircraft, submarines, mines, drones, missiles. The cognitive burden overwhelms even capable crews. Ukraine exploited exactly this vulnerability. But Neptune is more than single successful strike. The system becomes backbone of Ukrainian coastal defense. Multiple batteries deployed along Black Sea and Azov Sea coastlines. Mobile launchers, difficult to detect and target. Range coverage extends 280 kilometers offshore. Russian naval forces cannot approach Ukrainian-controlled coast without entering kill zone. The exclusion zone is enforced not by ships but by shore-based missiles. Anti-access area denial strategy executed perfectly. Who controls the Black Sea? A. Russia. B. Ukraine and NATO. C. Turkey holds the key. Neptune missile batteries continue operations throughout 2022 and 2023. Several additional engagements occur, not all publicly confirmed. Russian ships report near misses, missiles intercepted or evaded, but the threat is constant. Every Russian naval operation within 300 kilometers of Ukraine carries risk. Commanders must calculate, is the mission worth risking a $300 million frigate? Often the answer is no. The deterrent effect exceeds kinetic results. Russia operates fewer naval missions, launches fewer missile strikes from ships, relies more heavily on submarines which are harder for Neptune to target. The entire Russian naval posture becomes defensive. Ukraine achieved local maritime superiority through missiles alone. By late 2022, Ukraine begins upgrading Neptune systems, extended range variants, improved seekers, better resistance to electronic warfare. Reports indicate range increased to 400 kilometers for latest versions. If confirmed, this pushes Russian ships even farther from Ukrainian coast. The arms race continues. Russia develops countermeasures, better radar detection, improved electronic warfare systems, decoys and chaff. Training emphasizes anti-missile defense, but the fundamental problem remains. Sea-skimming missiles approaching at high speed in cluttered coastal environment are extremely difficult to stop. One gets through and ship is crippled or destroyed. Is this pushing NATO closer to direct involvement? Comment Y or N. Western intelligence played role in Neptune's success. Satellite imagery provided Moskva's position. NATO reconnaissance tracked Russian fleet movements. Targeting data shared with Ukrainian forces, but the missiles were Ukrainian. Launch decision was Ukrainian. The kill belongs to Ukraine. This is important politically. Russia cannot claim NATO sank Moskva, cannot justify escalation against alliance. The plausible deniability protects everyone while achieving desired result. Russian ship destroyed, Ukrainian capability proven. NATO involvement remains indirect. The diplomatic balance holds. Neptune's success also validates Ukraine's defense industry strategy: invest in asymmetric weapons, develop systems that exploit enemy vulnerabilities, use limited budget efficiently. The missile program cost approximately $40 million to develop. Moskva alone was worth nearly 20 times that. Return on investment spectacular. Other nations study Ukrainian approach. Taiwan examines Neptune for defense against Chinese Navy. Poland expresses interest. Baltic states investigate procurement. The export potential is significant, but Ukraine prioritizes domestic needs. Every missile produced goes to coastal defense batteries. Protecting Ukrainian sovereignty comes before export revenue. By 2024, Neptune missile becomes symbol of Ukrainian resistance, the weapon that killed Russian Flagship. Proof that smaller nation with inferior forces can still achieve tactical victories through innovation and courage. Propaganda value matches military effectiveness. But what happened during March 2023? Engagement remains partially classified. Ukrainian sources confirm Neptune battery engaged Russian submarine surfaced near Snake Island. Missile launched, target hit. Submarine damaged but not sunk. Russian sources deny incident entirely. Neither side provides complete details. The uncertainty is strategic. Russia cannot admit submarine vulnerability to anti-ship missiles. Ukraine cannot reveal full Neptune capabilities. Both parties benefit from ambiguity. The threat perception remains regardless of confirmation. Russian submarines must consider possibility of surface missile attack. Operational procedures adjust. Submerged operations preferred. Surface time minimized. All because Neptune might be effective against submarines too. The psychological warfare supplements kinetic effects. What breaks next? The grain deal, Turkish neutrality, or Russian deterrence. Neptune missile already broke Russian deterrence at sea. The flagship is gone. Major combatants stay far from Ukrainian coast. Naval blockade of Odessa failed. Russia cannot project power confidently in northwestern Black Sea. Ukrainian missiles created exclusion zone that Russian Navy respects. This is deterrence without Navy. Shore-based missiles achieving what surface fleet could not. The future of coastal defense may look exactly like Ukraine's Neptune deployment. Small mobile batteries, long-range anti-ship missiles, integrated with radar and intelligence networks, defending coastlines without expensive warships. The doctrine is proven, the technology is available. Other nations will adopt similar approaches. Naval warfare is changing. The era of large surface combatants dominating coastal waters is ending. Precision missiles fired from land provide equal or superior capability at fraction of the cost. Aircraft carriers become vulnerable. Cruisers are targets. Frigates risk destruction. The Black Sea is laboratory proving these concepts in combat. Neptune missile is the weapon validating the theory. Trade routes, missiles, and war. Black Sea Doctrine. Will Russia develop effective countermeasures against Neptune? Can Ukraine produce enough missiles to maintain coastal defense indefinitely? Will other nations adopt Ukrainian missile strategy? The answers shape future of naval warfare, and the questions originated with 2 missiles launched on dark night in April 2022 that killed a cruiser and announced that coastal defense has evolved beyond recognition. The Neptune has flown. Russian Navy will never be the same. Subscribe to Black Sea Doctrine, where Black Sea power decides everything.